Welcome back, panelists here. NBC News Chief Washington Correspondent and Chief Foreign Affairs Correspondent Andrea Mitchell, White House Correspondent for Politico and the co-author of Political Playbook, Eugene Daniels, partner at On Message Strategies, Brad Todd, and the former president of Emily's List, Stephanie Schriock. Welcome. Well, let me just kick off the conversation by kicking off Trump v. DeSantis this week. Point, counterpoint. Here we go.
We will fight the woke in the schools. We will fight the woke in the corporations. We will fight the woke in the halls of Congress.
And I don't like the term woke because I hear woke. You know, it's like just a term that half the people can't even define it. They don't know what it is.
And let's just be clear, it really does take 2 terms as president to be able to finish this job.
But when I heard DeSantis go out and say, and talk about 8 years, we need 8 years. You don't need 8 years, you need 6 months. We can turn this thing around so quickly.
Brad, I got to ask you, this is your side of the aisle. How's the party going to look after 6 months of that?
Well, I think only the party's paying attention to it for the most part.
Okay.
And, you know, I also think you look at your NBC poll most recently when you look at the presidential primary, Donald Trump has about 45%. Everybody else together has about 45%. So there's still plenty of people in this shopping mode. And I think that Donald Trump has a ceiling. So you're going to see more of this jousting.
Andrea, next week, 3 more candidates are getting in. Is this a reflection of Trump or DeSantis?
Well, it's a reflection of Trump, really, and DeSantis, because DeSantis has not proved himself. He stumbled out of the gate. I think he still is the strongest challenger to Donald Trump. But the fact that a lot of people believe that there needs to be an alternative to DeSantis, that somebody has to challenge Trump, and that nobody has stepped up to that. And what you're mostly seeing is the newer candidates, Chris Christie, willing to take on Donald.
Is there a constituency for him in the Republican primary?
It's hard to see.
I think in the press, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not taken already. It's hard to see, right? There are kind of 3 lanes that a lot of Republican strategists are thinking about this primary: Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, and kind of everyone else, right? And Chris Christie should really be in one of the first 2 lanes, right? His personality is more of a DeSantis and a Donald Trump, but he doesn't have a base at this point, right? That could change. A lot could change. I'd like to leave that open, but at the same time, this is a party that is fully on board with Donald Trump.
So, Stephanie, when you look, if you're the Biden re-election campaign and you see Trump and DeSantis going after each other, it's almost playing out exactly as you want the next 6 months to play out, is it not?
Oh, messy Republican primary is the best thing for President Biden, absolutely. And I think you get Chris Christie in. Like, do I think he has a constituency? No. Do I think he'll say anything about DeSantis and Trump? Yes. Yes, I do, because he's going to fight like he's from New Jersey. And so you're going to see it's just going to get muddier and messier and messier with louder voices coming in.
What's your can Christie get on that debate stage? 40,000 donors seems like a big hill to climb.
I think it is. I mean, they cost about $4 a person to obtain on email. And so that's going to be a big focus of they're going to use every dollar they get in hard money to try to raise it. I do think he's going to fill up Eugene's playbook every day.
Christie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Christie will. Yes.
It's just great quotables on that front. I want to do a tweet. You know, it's interesting. You sent it to me. Other Republican operatives sent it to me. It's this Brian Kemp tweet. Taking our country back from Joe Biden does not start with congratulating North Korea's murderous dictator, Andrea Mitchell.
Well, I mean, and that
referring to Trump's praise of Kim Jong-un getting on the WHO.
And Nikki Haley jumped on that also in Iowa. So I think that is a bridge too far. You know, almost everything else that he says that sounds outrageous.
I thought Putin was a bridge too far. What happened to that?
Well, probably Putin as well, but he's backed off a little bit, maybe a little bit. But Kim Jong-un is, you know, a killer. And I mean, well, Putin's a killer too, but the fact is that he loves strongmen. And, you know, Republican voters seem to really love fighters. That's what they want. Right. But not someone who is willing to align himself there. I was really fascinated by what Mike Brown said to you. Not willing to commit to the pledge. So that tells me, you know, there are a lot of people who really like Tim Scott. He's got that Reagan, you know, optimism. He's positive. But other people inside the party say he's got to get specific.
But is he selling dog food to cats?
Yeah,
Eugene, I don't know. Do people want optimism?
It feels like a completely different party, right? This is not a Republican Party that is happy, that is looking for a Reagan person. If it was, Donald Trump wouldn't be getting 45% of the NBC poll, right? That is a completely different party. You know, we talk to folks who are strategists or in that Scott world. Yeah. They try to compare it to Obama in 2007. We had a Democratic Party that was angry, and that you bring in someone who's talking about hope and change, and it works. I don't know that it works as well with this current Republican
Tim Scott
Party.
has not gotten specific on policies, and he's
I
got to stand up.
Steph, go ahead.
Underestimate Tim Scott at your own peril. He's going to have real appeal in Iowa. He's the best grassroots campaigner we have.
Lots of money.
He's the most connected to evangelicals. He's going to do well in Iowa. Just give him time.
I
Time
agree.
matters.
The question is, does that matter?
Yes.
Let me put up a reminder here. Here are Republicans, winners of Iowa in the last 3 open races. All 3 of them lost the nomination. More importantly, let me show you how well they did in New Hampshire. They all ended up 20 or 30 points. Winning Iowa is a guarantee to basically make it to the convention, and that's about it.
Yeah, it's a very different situation than the Democratic side of the aisle. But I think what we're dealing with here is Donald Trump is really hard to beat. And as I believe, more and more Republicans jump in because, yes, they're upset with, DeSantis is moving so far to the right. The Republicans that are starting to jump in are not the ones you think are super far right. You think they're the ones that are more the business Republicans. There is a huge problem with I don't even know if I want to call them moderate Republicans anymore, the old Republican Party.
Yeah.
They're looking for solution, but the base is not. They want Donald Trump and somebody like him.
But getting back to your original question about Brian Kemp, I think that was a real tell.
Why he's in the bullpen. We think he's warming up. You know?
And he doesn't have the advantage that perhaps Young can have to get in late because he can self-fund. But Brian Kemp is very popular. He's done very well, and he stood up against Trump.
I want to play one more clip from Joe Biden because I'm wondering if this was meaningful or a troll. Take a listen.
I want to commend Speaker McCarthy. You know, he and I, we and our teams, we were able to get along, get things done.
Brad, was Kevin McCarthy happy or sad that Biden praised him? I mean, I've had a lot of Republicans say that's going to be a problem.
Kevin McCarthy had the best week of his speakership this week. You can't make him unhappy. This is the best weekend he's had. And I don't think he cares if Joe Biden says that about him. And Joe Biden's using him as a prop because Biden has not been bipartisan for 3 years. So now he's trying to lean on Kevin McCarthy to get some bipartisan cred that he promised. It's not surprising.
Is the left going to stay quiet, or are they going to start to get cranky about Biden here?
The left has already been cranky for 2.5 years, and they'll continue to be a little cranky. But the truth is, Biden knows, the Biden organization knows that this is about running through the middle and getting things done. And folks are looking for that once they can advertise that out.
All right. I got to pause it there.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.